My husband was transferred overseas, and right away, my sister-in-law took over our home. She kicked me and my 2-year-old daughter out in the heavy rain. While we were shivering in a park, a cop told us to come to the station. Then something surprising happened. "Go away," said my sister-in-law, Greta, in a very unfriendly way. When my husband got a job overseas, Greta decided I couldn't stay in the house anymore. So my daughter and I had to leave. We didn't have anywhere else to go, so I went to the park with my 2-year-old daughter, feeling confused and lost about what to do next. Suddenly, police officers surrounded us. "Please come to the station," one of the officers said. It was raining heavily, and I was cold and shaking. I followed the officer to the police station. When I got there, someone I didn't expect was waiting for me. "My name's Emma, and I'm going to be 35 this year. I met my husband, Bob, at work, and after a year of dating, we got married. When we got married, I stopped working, and 2 years ago, our daughter, Lily, was born. Right now, I live with Bob, Lily, and my sister-in-law, Greta. We used to rent a place, but after Greta's husband passed away and she started having trouble with her knees, we decided to all live together and bought a new apartment. We thought about buying a house, but because Greta's knees aren't so good, we figured it would be better to live somewhere near public transportation. Buying an apartment was cheaper than a house back then, and it has an elevator, which makes things easier for us. Greta also liked the idea of the apartment, so we put some money down and got a loan that will pay off over 35 years. Bob's job often involves traveling or moving to different places. But after we bought the house, we were told he wouldn't have to relocate anytime soon. However, he still travels a lot for work, about once a week to other states. Having a 2-year-old daughter, I feel really stressed when Bob goes away on these trips. At first, Greta was helpful, but now she doesn't pitch in with taking care of Lily at all. Instead, she makes more work for me. For example, she leaves dirty dishes lying around after eating and doesn't even bother to rinse cooking utensils, which makes them really hard to clean later. Even when I ask her to at least rinse them, she just says sorry and promises to do better next time, but she doesn't follow through. I noticed something strange recently. She rinses the dishes when Bob is around, but not when it's just me. At first, I thought it was okay since she sometimes rinsed them, but now I think she's doing it on purpose to make things difficult for me. It's not just about the dishes either. Sometimes, she'll ask if I need anything from the store, and when I say no, she'll later say she actually did need something after I've already come back. This happens a lot. Considering Greta's knee problems, I try my best to help her with moving around, but my willingness to assist has been decreasing over time. Greta's behavior started not long after we all started living together, and it's been happening for years now. When I talked to a friend about it, she said that it sounds like she's bullying me and suggested talking to Bob. I was worried that if I talked to Bob about it, Greta, who doesn't have any other family, might end up in a care facility, so I thought it might be best for me to just put up with it. However, one day something happened that made me reconsider. I was planning to drop Lily off at my parents' house. They always enjoyed having Lily over and suggested I stay the night too. I wanted to, but I felt uneasy about leaving Greta alone at home. So after a short chat with my parents, I decided to head back to the apartment where Greta was waiting.
Now you can watch the second part by pressing share and more.
When I got there, I realized I had left my keys at home, which left me feeling worried. But then I remembered that Greta was home, so I decided to ring the intercom to get inside. I pressed the button and waited for her to answer, but there was no response. I wondered if she had gone out, so I waited outside for a while. Even after waiting for about 2 hours, Greta didn't come back. It was getting dark, and I was getting worried. Just as it was getting dark, another resident returned, and I followed him inside. When they unlocked the main entrance, I was sure Greta was at home because she rarely went out at night. So I pressed the intercom button outside our apartment, but still, there was no answer. I waited by the door for a while, and then I heard a faint sound from inside, which meant Greta was there. I tried the intercom a few more times, but Greta didn't come out. Feeling defeated, I decided to stay at a nearby motel for the night. I planned to go back home when Bob returned from his business trip. When I told Bob what happened with Greta locking me out, he was understandably upset. But Greta just brushed it off, saying she might not have heard me because of her age. I could tell she was smirking, though. I was relieved to be back inside and grabbed my keys to pick up Lily from my parents' house. After talking to my parents about what happened, they offered me comfort and told me I could always come back to stay with them if things got too tough. Their words brought tears to my eyes, but I quickly wiped them away before heading home with Lily. For a while, things were okay with Greta, but then, unexpectedly, Bob's transfer to another country became permanent. He asked me what I thought about it, but I couldn't give him an immediate answer considering the potential stress it could cause Lily. I decided it would be best for her and me to stay in the US. Soon after, we decided I and Lily would stay in the US while Bob went to Europe. He had to leave. He was worried about us, but he was so busy with work that he didn't have much time to think about it. So it was just me, Lily, and Greta at home. But, as expected, things went downhill with Greta once Bob left. On a stormy day, when it was unsafe to go outside, Greta dropped a bombshell on me. She suggested that Lily and I should move out now that Bob was gone. Excuse me. What do you mean? I asked, shocked. Just what I said. I think it would be better if you and Lily found somewhere else to live. I'll take care of things here. I just don't feel comfortable with strangers in the house. It would be best if you left right away, Greta said. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I had always tried to make living together with Greta as good as possible. I treated her like family even though we're not related. But to Greta, it seemed like Lily and I didn't matter much at all. I was thinking about going back to my parents' house when Greta suddenly said, "Why don't we just leave already?" Before I knew it, Lily and I were kicked out of our own home just as we were without even a chance to gather our things. No matter how hard I knocked on the door, Greta wouldn't let us back in. I felt lost and confused. I carried Lily through the pouring rain to a nearby park. There was a shelter there that I hoped would keep us dry from the rain. Ideally, I would have gone to a motel or gone back to my parents' place, but I had left my wallet and phone inside the house. I felt helpless as I sat in the park, trying to figure out what to do next. I'm not sure how much time passed as the rain poured down. I was exhausted and cold and started to doze off. It was dark already, and even though it was summer, the cold was harsh. I worried that Lily and I might get sick. As bad as things were, it seemed like the only option was to walk to my parents' house even though it would take about 3 hours.
Now you can watch the third part by pressing share and more.